Hello, you're listening to Hib Talk. I'm your host as always, Gav. Joining me today is Dave.
Alright.
How you doing, Dave?
I'm not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Aye. Bit tired after, getting back late last night, but well worth the journey, wasn't it?
Yeah, I ended up watching the 57th minute onwards on Alba as well, because I remember the last half an hour been particularly good for us. So
I'm guessing you enjoyed it a lot more second time round with, having it spoilt for you.
It felt more exciting at the game. See, when I was watching it on
Of course
Alba,
it was more excitement, yeah.
Aye, when I was watching it in Alba and I was waiting on things happening, I was like shaking the bird, being like, "How good is this bit? How good is this bit?"
Was you interested?
Nah, you know you.
So before we get to the St John's game, we're going to quickly look through some news. Johnathan Spector's been linked with the club. He was at the game last night and came through the ranks at Manchester United. Had a time at West Ham, and then most known for his time at Birmingham. And he's American, something like, got here, 36 caps for America. Most recently at Orlando City, but was released in January. Dave, we're going to get into Heck and Bottom's comments in a minute, and I know you've already heard them, so it kind of spoils it, but do you feel that a centre-back who can also play right-back is a position that we're in need of at the moment?
Aye, 100%. We're looking off a light. That's what Heck and Bottom said, so yeah. But we definitely are. If something happens to David Gray, then we've got Whittaker, but what's up with him now? He's not been in and about stuff, so is he injured?
Don't know.
And then you've got obviously the long-term injury, Porteous, and then Dan McGregor and Hanlon be a bit off the boil. So
Darnell Johnstone to come back.
Yep.
That's his suspension up, so he'll be back. That's going to be a good person to have back in the team.
But yeah, I'd take him in, have a look at him, and then
the way Paul Heckenbottom spoke about it was we're having a look at him and he's having a look at us. We're light in that position and maybe a deal could be done until the end of the season. 32-year-old, so not going to be a long-term fix, but we'll see what comes of that. Next up, Daryl Horgan's been talking about playing on the wing. Dave, have you noticed a difference since Heckenbottom's come in where he's been starting every game and he's been playing on the wing? Do you feel that we're starting to see, you've been one of the most critical people at Horgan, do you feel you're seeing a better player now?
It's totally different. I feel like everyone I've said before is like a wee bit unjustified, because I thought he was brilliant last night. He was brilliant against Dundee. He just seems a lot more direct and more comfortable in his position. Mm-hmm. So,
and I know he prefers playing on the left, but he looked a lot more dangerous on the right when he switched over to the right as well. I know I might just be saying that because I said that last week and I want to be right, but I genuinely felt that when he went to the right, he looked a lot more dangerous. Their left back didn't look comfortable, especially after Horgan had gone off, and I was like, oh, if only we still had Horgan on to run at him. Yeah, it's I think it's good that he can play on both wings, I guess.
He's definitely looks like he's improved quite drastically, to be fair. I thought a couple of games ago he was in games periodically and it wasn't good enough. So to see him actually like driving at folk, and it's exactly what we need.
And it must be hard coming to a new club, playing right wing, playing left wing, playing central attacking midfield, a position you don't know, in a club you've just joined, players around you you're just starting to get used to, and then you're out the team, then you're in the team playing a number 10, then you're out the team, then you're in the team playing on left wing. To have that consistent position must be beneficial to him. It just seems quite logical, really.
Yeah, I don't doubt that he's probably had a tough time to start with, but then I can only judge what I've seen, and what I've seen of him up until the last few games, I don't think it was good enough.
And the last bit of news we've got, Dave, you and me were at the working together on Monday night.
Right, Monday night.
It's been another week. Well, I've seen you loads, and it's all been Hibs related. Monday the podcast, Wednesday night for the game, and then this morning for the podcast. So did I say podcast twice there?
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. I meant working together for Monday if people heard me wrong there. So yeah, we were at the working together. It was Tracy was at second, unfortunately unable to make it, so it was just Frank that was leading it. Potentially Frank's last working together, because as we'll get on to in a second, the new reps have been announced. Kind of spoke about some general stuff, and then we split into groups, and you and me, obviously podcast communication wise, made sense for us to go speak to Kenny Miller about communication stuff and about what the club can do to kind of improve their communication, because it has came under fire. Kenny made a good point though, you know, December you can't really get much done, January everything happened, so it's only now he can start to kind of put things in place. So hopefully we'll see an improvement in Hibs communication. Kenny was saying the right things on Monday, it's just now time for him to follow through on that, I guess.
Just been a bit more selfish around about the way that they're doing things. Like he was saying about how he put the Hibs TV camera, like he walked in and put it right in the middle of the room because it normally sits in the corner and lets BBC and that and Sky and that lead for interviews and get the best angle. And
anyway, like I said though, could if anybody wants to know the minutes and stuff, Charlene Feeney, I pronounced that right. She did put up a check out on her Twitter. She's put out up her minutes. I think there was a bit of confusion. People thought this was her opinion from it. That was just things that were mentioned, and she was just minuting it. It's just, but yeah, like I said, I'm rambling now. It could be Frank's last one.
Yep. So if you've got Frank is running again, and then you've got Carol Marker or McKee as it's on the website. You've got Malcolm Milne, Kieran Power, Colin Pride, and Duncan Smith. Yeah, the club said that they're going to do short video interviews with the candidates early in the week, next week. So, it'd be good just to see what everyone's saying, and if they come on here as well and
yeah, just give them an opportunity, not just to talk about why they're running all that, because that'll be the basic stuff that's done again and again, but to hear them talking about Hibs, recent performances. They'll get one person on to preview a game, next person on to review a game, and hear them actually just talking passionately about Hibs, or maybe make people realise why they should vote for them. So anyway, we'll try and sort that out. So obviously we've got a juicy game coming up against Celtic, but we're quickly going to look at we're going to look at the game against St Johnstone first, and then quickly look at the Dundee game, just because we never podcast in between the Dundee and St Johnstone game. So let's first kick off with the St Johnstone game last night. So the first half performance, Dave, let's not go into too much of it more, and I've got a couple of points about St Johnstone, but from a Hibs perspective, how would you rate the first half performance?
Really bad. Almost like nothing had changed, and it was as bad as we've been at various bad points in the season. And I'm not going to lie, at half time I was a bit doom and gloom. You were a bit more optimistic than me. You were like, you were looking at it from a kind of outsider perspective. You were like, this is quite a big opportunity for Heckingbottom
to kind of show that he can turn it around. And
then you were talking in my ear, and I was like, Gav, just shut up. I was like, go and shut up. And then later on in the game, I'll not waste it now. In fact, I'll just say it now.
Aye.
You were like, we're gonna win this. I think we're gonna get a winner. And I was like, Gav, go and shush.
10 men at the time, and I was like, we're gonna win this.
I was like, Gav, shut up. Like, there's nothing more annoying than somebody telling you that something's gonna happen when you didn't think it's gonna happen, but you really want it to happen. And
it was 40 seconds later, Omeonga picked up the ball, and
you smug as anything, your wee frigging grin. I tell you. So you did, shut up.
Anyway, back on the first half, St Johnstone had a penalty claim. Have you seen it back?
No, but it was right in front of us, and I thought, it depends how close he was to the ball, but it did hit his hand.
It didn't hit his hand.
Did it not hit his hand?
No.
You seen it back?
Aye, they weren't claiming for that. It's because McGregor didn't touch the ball and pushed Witherspoon over, but he'd already got the shot off.
I thought it was a handball.
His hand is in a weird position, but yeah, I think they were more claiming for the fact that Dan McGregor kind of falls into him. I don't know. It didn't. Well, it did look more convincing than the penalty we got, but aye.
I'm an expert for the 57th minute on because I've seen it twice. So.
Right. We'll get close to that then. The goal though, it was a corner. Milligan beaten easily in the air. Dave, how did Kane get 2 shots in the 6-yard box?
But it was a good save for Rocky, and
the first one. Yeah.
Aye, and I don't think we just weren't ready for it. He was. The thing is about that the forwards attacking the goal, and he's got his first shot away, and his momentum's still taking him forward. So when the ball comes back off Marciano, that Kane's actually still no moved. If anything, he's moving towards the ball still, and then he just taps it in. So,
And it all comes from Milligan. I mean, I don't know if he's kind of lost his man a wee bit or if he's mistimed it, but he is nowhere near whoever it is that kind of gets the assist, though, not assist, but that puts the ball back across goal, because he's got a clear header. Milligan looks like he's staying on the ground. I don't know if he's kind of jumped too early and he's already came back down or what, but he was nowhere near, and it was a clear header for the boy, really easy. And then
it's a
two attempts and goal.
Poor goal to lose.
There is issues there defensively, and hopefully that's something that's getting worked on. And
one of the big things picked up on was the fact that they just kept punting the ball down the line, down the channel, and they were just running onto it. You got that there?
No.
Oh, right, you looked at it and put a face at me.
I was looking at where we were going next. I have to listen to you and see where we're going next. That's part of being a host.
Right. So I punted it down the line, and they were running on it, and they were obviously Kennedy and Tony Watt and that running were faster than we've got at the back.
Yeah.
And it was causing us some problems. And then I thought St Johnstone were keeping us in our half far too easily. And I think that Hickenbottom touching it after the passing was sloppy. And this was all first half. The passing was really sloppy, and that definitely didn't help, because see, when we were getting in their half, they were clearing their lines easy enough, and we weren't keeping them in at all. So it just felt like relentless pressure from them, and all we had was a few long shots.
So you said you touched on it a second ago there. Quick doom and gloom. Let's move on to the positive stuff.
Aye.
So second half came back out. I told you at half time it was going to be better.
First 10 minutes were push.
Starting with one of the two negatives, I guess. Slivka's dive. Was that before or after the 57th minute?
I think it was after, but I seen the replay after the match.
Right. What did you think of it?
It was pretty bad.
Pretty obvious a dive.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. He knew straight away. He
Aye.
got up. I don't know if it's one of them where I'm not defending it at all, because I didn't want to see it. I would absolutely go through any opposition player that did it to us. So I'm not going to be biased at all. But I don't know if he was anticipating it, the contact. Don't know.
Don't make excuses. It was a dive.
I'm not making an excuse. I just said I'm not making an excuse.
But we did manage to get back into the game. Penalty. Do you feel that it was enough of a push from Liam Craig for a penalty?
How soft was it? We'll take it
Yeah.
but it was soft. The only thing I would say is, and Callum actually picked up on in our WhatsApp group. I'll give him a wee bit of credit, because I did go back and have a look to see if I could find it, and it's when Liam Craig runs it into Canberra at a certain angle. Craig is trying to stay on his feet, he's almost falls out of his cell after he hits Canberra. So there was obviously enough contact there. Do you know what I mean? They can't say he didn't touch him, because he nearly goes down too. So
yeah. So I mean, it was a great penalty. McNulty just looked so confident. There was obviously all the stuff where Murray Davidson and Canberra started having a tiff. That's obviously a tactic from Murray Davidson to try and delay the penalty. Keeper tried to grab the ball. All this stuff. McNulty, cool as you like, bang.
Yeah.
Keeper had no chance.
It was a brilliant penalty.
So we just spoke about the contact from Craig for the penalty. What about the contact from Slivka on Watt's shoulder? His hand on his shoulder, brushing his shoulder, and he goes down.
It was. It's
5 foot what? 5'10", 5'11" athlete going down because somebody's touched his shoulder.
Yeah, it was as much a dive as dive. I'm not saying Canberra dive, but he went down as easy as Canberra did.
No, I'd say it was more in a line with Slivka's dive.
Yeah, possibly. But
then you have to say, is that karma on Slivka for?
Yeah, but Slivka had just made a foul right in front of the technical area, and at that point he was lucky to stay on, because if anything, that was maybe a booking than the one he got for.
I agree with you there.
And I think everybody in the stand knew the next one that he done, he was off. Anything at all, he was off. But the one that he did get sent off on, the second yellow, was wasn't even a foul. So.
Do you feel? I mean, like I say, we didn't even think it was a foul, but do you feel that McGregor and Hanlon both left him in an awkward position? Because McGregor comes running over to the touchline, Hanlon's right behind him, and there's no one at the back.
McGregor and Hanlon got dragged out there really badly. McGregor tries to win the ball, and just dives in. Ball goes past him, and then the guy just runs round Hanlon like he's not there. And then obviously that's Slavka chasing back, and it nothing we can do about it. But he probably should have been subbed.
Right, let's get on to this good stuff. Omeonga's pass for the goal. What was your thoughts on that?
Oh,
Can words in a podcast describe it?
nah, probably not.
Are we getting a bit carried away?
It was something that we've not seen
in a year
since Scott Allen. It's the type of the pass that Scott Allen does. We reverse passes. Just it was so good. And then you can't take anything away for the finish as well.
Fantastic finish.
It just lifts it enough.
Aye.
Just everything about it. And I actually watched an interview with McNulty after the game, and he says that pass for Omeonga is the type of pass that you would see down in the Premiership. It was that good.
It's a good compliment.
Yeah.
So nerves and excitement. You kind of touched on it earlier on about watching it back in the telly, and it wasn't as nervous and exciting. But how did you enjoy / I don't know what the other opposite that word would be, but for those 30 minutes, because even the point where we're thinking, right, if we can get out of here with a point with 10 men, that's good. But then obviously the dying minutes as well after that, when we're 2-1 up, and St Johnstone are piling on the pressure and having chance after chance. How was your emotions at that point? I mean, I know I was there beside you, but
I was a nervous wreck, especially the last 5 when they put 5 minutes of stoppage time up. But I must admit there was an element there was just optimism. You thought that we were going to win it at 1 each. The management thought we were going to win it at 1 each because they kept 2 strikers in the park. They felt there was a chance. The fans were singing. There was just a good atmosphere within the away support. And I'm as pessimistic as you can get. So that's how I was Gav, shut up. But it felt different. And it was brilliant. I didn't actually enjoy the last 5 minutes at all, but when the full time whistle went, I did enjoy it when I thought back on it. You know what I mean? It was good just to see the team fighting like that.
And second half, like you say, the fight there. Do you feel that the fact that we didn't make any personnel changes from the first half to the second half, but there's a clear difference in that fight, that do you think that can be credited to the management team giving them a right good kick up the arse at half time?
Yeah, well, probably. I don't think it could have got much worse for the first half. So, but it's definitely
it was a completely different team that came out in terms of that. Obviously, they came out and for the first 3 or 4 minutes there was a couple of bombardments and then St Johnstone kind of got back into it. But even then, after that, even when St Johnstone were on the attack, the application of the players, the fight, the determination, the concentration, everything, the levels had just gone up.
Yeah, no, I would agree.
So yeah, let's be positive and credit that to Robbie and Paul, and hopefully more stuff like that. Last thing on the game, Marciano's distribution. Do you feel? I mean, there's no two ways about it. It was honking, or humming, as you said last week. Do you feel that had an impact on the way we played in general because we couldn't get the ball out?
Well, that's exactly what I was saying. So they had us in our half a lot, and he did not help that at all. The amount of times he just put the ball to play, and then they just came straight back at us. So there was no relief. If anybody didn't see the game and think we're being a bit dramatic, we're definitely no. He must have put the ball out the park, but good 6 or 7 times. It was unbelievable. I think he had maybe a couple of good kicks and that was it. Mm-hmm. He put us under a bit of problems. But he's shot stopping is what he's strongest at.
Yeah.
So, but like you said to me last night, if only he had time in his hands to improve his kicking, eh? Well, if only he was a professional football player with loads of time. It's definitely something he needs to work on.
Yeah. So, let's just fire through the Dundee game before we get to the Celtic game then, because obviously it was a couple of days ago now. So, but let's just fire through some quick stats. Let's just fire through some quick points. Would you think it's fair to say it was a poor start from Hibs?
Yeah, again, a slow start. First 20 minutes, I don't think we've done anything. Inviting a lot of pressure on and making Dundee look a bit better than they probably are.
And then we got the goal, Canberra. For a guy that maybe, I mean, I know we debated whether he should have got the goal against Hamilton or not, but for a guy that's not been scoring as much as he had been previously, he took that goal with so much confidence.
He's got a bit of
swagger. The way he kind of shaked off the defender and then just curved it with power around the goalkeeper. Sensational finish.
He's definitely got his swagger back. And I know we've moved on for the St Johnstone game, but you've seen it last night. Like, is this plugged in?
Aye.
Is it? I know we've moved on for the St Johnstone game, but you've seen it last night. He was blowing kisses at St Johnstone players, fisting at the fans, winding folk up. Like, just generally had a bit of confidence in that about him, and it all came for obviously his last couple of goals and the way he shoved off the big Dundee centre half like he wasn't there. And it was a brilliant finish. Keeper was just rooted to the spot. And
a great ball from McNulty as well. Great assist there.
Yeah.
And then the Dundee goal, not great defending. I mean, we don't want to spend the whole time being negative talking about poor defending. I think we've done that in the past. I think it's clear that needs to be worked on, so we'll know. The only thing I picked up on was the fact that Gray and Stevenson were further back and more central than McGregor and Hanlon, who were outside the box. It's like, you've got to have either a flat line playing folk behind offside, or you've got to have your centre backs deeper than your wing back, your full backs who do like to bomb forward usually. So it was a bit of a strange one. Left the space in behind. You see Stevenson running across the centre and he's the only one there.
Well, Hanlon got dragged out.
Aye.
Like he did against...
It happens too often. I think there's maybe got to be a change in approach with the defence. But anyway, let's get back to the positives. Horgan, we spoke about him earlier on. Great a ball for the McNulty goal. McNulty didn't have much to do except tap it in. But, credit to him for being in that position.
A quick throw-in.
Aye.
Unlike last night, some of our throw-ins were taking like minutes to get the ball back in the park, it felt like at times, just slowing everything down. But it was nice to see a bit of quick.
And then Malin had a shot from the edge of the box and McNulty done the right thing. I feel that we've been missing this, Canberra's a certain type of striker and, we need him in the team. But he's not that, fox in the box like we've seen McLaren do at times. In his first spell at Hibs. We need somebody that's going to think, right, this person's taking a shot, I'm running in case the keeper spills it.
You need ugly goals.
Aye. And he done it, and it's just, and being at the back post for Horgan's assist, he can read the game brilliantly. He's got such a clever mind on him. And then Malin, absolute rocket of a goal. Absolute sensational.
How good was the camera angle for it though?
Aye.
It was right behind it, and it was like the ball seemed to move dead slow to start with, and then it just seemed to like pick up pace, and unbelievable strike.
Brilliant. Could you be harsh on from a Dundee perspective and say the keeper should do better?
Yeah, it probably should have.
But we're no
floppiness, but
we're no from a Dundee perspective.
No.
From a Hibs perspective.
Exactly.
Was Miller offside for the first goal he scored, or didn't score?
Probably no, but that's another friggin' bit of money that I'm not getting. So the Lino knew owes me money. So I'm starting to get a better list here.
Aye, we'll come back to that at the end. And he got a second one, but she definitely was offside the second one. Looking back at it, and Wood scored for Dundee, but like I said, we've already spoken enough about the defending. So fans bet, we didn't put one up last night because it was Wednesday night game, and we're concentrating on getting the one sorted for Saturday, which we'll come back to in a second. But that's 3 games in a row now where one of the 2 bets we've put out, so it's 6 bets and 3 of them have came in the last 3 games. So yeah,
Ask me what bets I've put on out of the 6. I've put one every week.
The 3 that didn't come in.
Correct.
That's why you should be putting them both on.
Aye.
But no, like, I mean, we, in an ideal world, we'd be saying to folk, sign up to Fans Bet, select Hibs Talk, and make that your out-and-out bookie. But at the end of the day, that might be unrealistic. Folk are very loyal to their bookies, and we realise that's going to take time. So all we're asking is if folk could sign up via Hibs Talk, and when we put out the 2 specials, we've got cracking ones we'll come up to when we're talking about the Celtic game. Folk just put 50p, a pound, 5, or whatever you want to put on, it's up to you, on the bets we put out. Track record, 3 in a row. If you'd put money on those 3, you'd be up, even if you put the same money on the other ones. I worked it out. So, definitely, it'd be a massive help to the podcast if you could all sign up to Fans Bet, select via Hibs Talk, and make sure you check out for our enhanced specials, which we'll come back to.
And then whatever bets I say I'm putting on, just put on the 3 opposite ones.
Aye. So we have got some specials about Celtic, but let's talk about the game first. No more Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, no, appears no.
No, I was getting quite excited because he hadn't won at Easter Road, so aye. That was something that we mentioned a lot, a stat I was getting ready to talk about, and maybe look back at some of the games and how we've managed to. But no, there's no much point now because Brendan Rodgers isn't there.
Well, it's not as if we've not got another talking point.
We are coming to that in a second. But yeah, what's your thoughts on Brendan Rodgers leaving for Leicester? Does it, just in terms of a Scottish football point of view, do you think folk are getting carried away saying that it's damaging to the reputation of Scottish football?
I think it's bizarre. Like, I don't understand why you would go to Leicester when you could win. You got the potential chance of winning a treble. I know this is me taking my Hibs head off. I know we've got them at the weekend, and I want obviously us to put them out and stop that. But he's got the chance to do that, and he's away the now to do what in Leicester this season? They're at the Cups.
Building for next season.
How boring is that? What a boring existence. I would just want to win stuff if I was involved in football, and I don't know if that's because I'm not involved in football and I get absolute buzzing at winning a game of 5-a-sides against my mates. So like,
do you think though, just quickly, do you think he maybe sees this as a platform to, do well at Leicester, stabilise them, have a strong 7th finish, maybe even a 6th, which is probably not going to happen, and then in a year and a half's time, 2 years' time, the Chelsea job comes up, or the Tottenham job comes up, and he can go.
He probably would have got the Chelsea job anyway.
I've proved myself. I know I said this last night to you.
He had a good chance because
Sarri's going to get sacked, and if they've got to bleed in other youngsters, then he's somebody that's been a youth coach, head of youth development or something at Chelsea before. So yeah, it would have been a good appointment.
Anyway, I don't really care about him. I think he's all about him.
So funny turn of events, and Neil Lennon will be in the dugout at Easter Road on Saturday. What's your thoughts on that?
If I'm being absolutely honest with you, I don't care.
Right.
I want, at the end of the day, we're playing Celtic and we're playing them in the Cup, and Neil Lennon can take away, and I just didn't care. I want to beat him, and I want to put him out, and I hope Canberra scores a couple. So that's kind of where I'm standing on it.
Do you think that? The best way to word this. How do you feel about Hibs fans singing for their appreciation of what he done for the club? Do you feel that there's a need for that, or do you feel that's maybe not the right place to be doing it?
You can be
final of the Scottish Cup.
You can be respectful. I think it's probably the right term. So just a wee nod to him, being like, cheers for everything and that. But we've said all that. It's done. He's not our manager anymore. So are you a Hibs fan or are you a Neil Lennon fan? Know what I mean? But it's Neil Lennon going to win you for the on, not winning you anything.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not here. He is coming to Easter Road on Saturday to beat your football team. So why he's singing his name?
Yeah, I'd agree with you there, and that obviously be better to find.
And that's not being disrespectful to him. Like what Leanne said was he was good for Hibs and we were good for him. But in my opinion, if Neil Lennon hadn't left last month, he'd be away now. He'd absolutely walked to Parkhead to get that job. He would have that would have been him. Absolutely no way he would have just left that and stayed at Hibs.
And tinfoil hat on, do you think maybe he knew something was coming, or do you think?
Well, somebody actually asked us that on Twitter to talk about that. I don't know. It does make you think though how twisted everything could be.
There was a whole that it could be a potential explanation for the whole he didn't resign and we didn't fire him situation. It's like, look, I know a job's coming up, we're maybe not the best fit, let's kind of go. But nah, I think, you know, because I personally think if Celtic had got through against Valencia in the Europa League, Brendan Rodgers would still be there. And yeah, I think there was no. I think it's just sort of been something that's came together in the last couple of weeks. I don't think it's been going back a month.
The fact that he was like booked in on a flight and that to go to Doha to do TV work and had to cancel it and that would
dismiss that.
You'd be able to surmise for
conspiracy
that.
Theory.
Yeah, but it has worked out very well for him. Should I say, because he's managed to get paid by Hibs and then still.
So does that mean we don't have to pay him as much, or no?
I don't have a clue. Don't have a clue.
Usually there's things of, you know, if
I think that's
another job then.
Nah, I think the way it was.
Because there's like if Real Madrid appoint Mourinho, they've got to pay like 90 million to Man United or something. I'm sure I read that somewhere. Because they're still paying him. They never paid him one, they're paying him in chunks.
Right.
I don't know how it works exactly.
Don't know. It'd be good if that was the case, but
nah.
At the same time,
I think
it's something that I'm not going to concerned about. Be that concerned about, but I just want. It'd be good to beat him. Put it that way.
So, with Lennon in charge, what are the chances in Scott Allen starting?
Did you look? He was on the bench that last night. No,
I didn't check. No,
it was John Kennedy's team written off, but no chance. Nah, it won't happen.
They've got some injuries.
They might start. He might start a game or be involved towards the end of the season. But if he's not going to be there, what's the point?
And to be fair, there's a lot of people being like, "Oh no, they're going to cancel the pre-contract. Can't do that."
Nah, but I said that. To be fair,
you were worrying. I think somebody used an example of the boy at Ross County who was meant to go to St Johnstone and then stayed, but St Johnstone agreed to it, and Ross County had to pay a compensation fee. Hibs will not agree to that.
No,
he's coming. Everyone who was worrying that he's not coming, calm down, he's coming. So, did you see any of the highlights from the Hearts Celtic game? I didn't myself. I was too busy concentrating on getting this prepared this morning, and then
the only thing I've seen is the Talking Boz video of Craig Levine being very sad when the goal goes in. That's all I needed to see.
Yeah,
that's highlights enough for me.
But their season so far, obviously they've got the League Cup in the bag. They've got the highest XG in the league, so they create loads of chances, goal scoring chances, not just chances. Their winter transfers, whatever you want to call it, the January window transfers, seem to have settled in really well. Burke has settled in, Weah's settled in quite well, and had an impact in games. They're looking a bit more solid up top now, because obviously they were just sort of relying on Edouard. And they started with him on the bench last night. He came on off and got the winner. It's very much a talented squad. Their defence are starting to get players back, Kieran Tierney and stuff. So, how are you feeling about the game?
We've got a good record against them, Easter Road. So I think it's just a free hit. You go at it, play with just chuck everything at them, and then if we win, we win. If we don't, then. You know what I mean, it's Celtic and the Scottish Cup, the thing they've won the last couple of years. So I will be annoyed if we get absolutely hammered and show nothing. That'll be the only outcome that I'll be properly annoyed at. But I really want to win, obviously.
And from a Hibs point of view, Malin had a good game against Dundee, but then was quiet last night. Omeonga came on for him and done really well. Would you like to see Omeonga play ahead of Malin?
Omeonga needs to start. He deserves it. He turned that game into a victory last night. Him.
Yeah.
Obviously Wayne McNulty, but without Omeonga doing his stuff, then we wouldn't go back in it. So, I wonder if it'll be interesting to see, because Neil Lennon knows every single strength and weakness of that Hibs team. You never think about that type of thing.
Aye, that's a good point. Because I was going to ask you how, if the fact that a new manager means we need to look at how the stats from the rest of the season, if that affects how we look at them and stuff. But I guess we've kind of got to look at more ourselves because of how well Neil Lennon knows that team.
I know.
That's a good point. So go. How do you think that'll affect matters?
Well, I think he'll know there's no pace at the back and go with pace. I think Ollie Burke running out of defence is a wee bit daunting, so we'll need to do something about that. But it'll be interesting to see how him and Cumberi, how he deals with the Cumberi threat. But I want Cumberi to go out and just be like, play with that, like the swagger, and just be like, I'm the dog's bollocks here, by this is my house that you're in now. And just, I would love nothing more than Cumberi to score and then just run by the dugout. And it would be brilliant if you'd done the Lenny playing.
Lenny playing is great. There you go. Cumberi, get doing that.
Yeah, it would be good if you'd done that. But
so, getting back to fans bet, we'll choose one each. What are you going to go for the game then? For
Cumberi last goal scorer.
Right.
So
okay.
the winner.
So we'll message David to get the enhanced odds for that. So Cumberi last goal. And because it's rain and form, and we scored two last night against St Johnstone, 2 against Dundee. The boys scoring for fun. Don't care if it's against Celtic. I'm going to go McNulty to score at any time and Hibs to win in the 90 minutes. So we'll get enhanced odds on them and put them up on our social media. So keep an eye out for them coming up. And like say, just even 50p, £1 on each of them and stuff. You know, what's £1? 50p each. What's £1? You know, 4 to 1 or something. You could end it if they come in. You could get £8 back for £1 from the 2 bets. I don't know. I don't know. We don't know the exact odds. We'll find it. But yeah, they'll be going up soon. So keep an eye out for them. I'll post some stuff about, you know, letting folk know that when they're coming up, and when they're up, I'll put some nice colourful graphics up to kind of make sure folk can see them. So you looking forward to the game?
Aye, actually I'm buzzing for it.
Score prediction for it?
What does my head say? Right, my heart says 2-1. Cumberi last goal. McNulty get the first. And I'll go I think they'll cause us a bit of problems, unfortunately. Try to think. Should have really thought about this. I think about it too much. I think we'll struggle to win, but the momentum in that we've got now and the excitement around the place is brilliant. So I'm just going 2-1 Hibs.
2-1 Hibs.
Aye.
Yeah, I'll go the same. Nice and boring. Both go the same. 2-1 Hibs. McNulty to score the first and Cumberi to score the last goal.
Telling you, the way to get into Celtic is score early on. It sounds stupid, but don't let them get an early goal.
Mm-hmm. Then they've got to come on us. We can sit a bit deeper, so that'll help the slower defence. And then you play the likes of Horgan and that out wide and hit them on the counter. McNulty's got a bit of pace about him. Cumberi can do his tricky when he drags it to the left and, you know, takes a man on, and yeah. So that get an early goal.
Worst thing that can happen is against Celtic is concede early, because then you've got to come at them, and then that's when you leave gaps for them, and they're like a predatory animal. They just go at you, they wait on you, and then just go. Yeah.
So should be a good game though. Really exciting game. 5:15 kick-off. Aye, really looking forward to it.
Getting a half day for it.
Good. Aye, right enough. Your manager replied to us on Twitter to say you could have it off. So that was, if in case he changes his mind.
So get it right round him, because he was being quite smug about it. So he was like, I'll give it, because it'll be quite good to to see
know that you're there
upset.
when Hibs get beat was like what he kind of said. So
Yeah.
aye, let's hope he's wrong. He will be wrong because we're brilliant and we've won 4 in a row. So aye. So you heading off to work now?
I'm going to work.
Leaving me to do all the editing and all that sort of stuff.
Standard.
Aye.
It was good to see you again, and I'll see you on Saturday.
I know. Aye, that'd be like 5 times in a week or something.
Correct.
Didn't roll your eyes. Right, thanks again and cheers for listening.
Hello.
Dave,
So,
we forgot to do listeners' questions.
alright, you got to do them now?
Aye, we'll just do them now over the phone. Right.
Aye, that sounds.
Okay.
You recording?
Yeah. Say hi to everybody again.
Oh. Hello.
Right, okay, so starting off with Facebook, Laura Walker has put, no hype, forget him, just do the job in question and win and crumble the treble into pieces. They are very beatable as they were not great last night against Hearts, just lucky. We can do this. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Aye. No, they're definitely beatable. So, aye.
Okay, the next ones we've got is David McLeod. The manager's attitude with 10 men was more impressive, leaving 2 up top and still trying to win the game rather than hook one of them and sitting deep. Going to try everything in our power to keep McNulty. Looks like a proper centre forward. Hope Redden will get relegated as this would cut the price or give us a better chance of a season-long loan with a view to buy him at the end. So, what's your thoughts on that? First off, would you agree? You said it earlier on about sticking with 2 up top was really impressive.
It's just exactly what I want to see. A manager that wants to win.
Yeah.
Win at all costs, and if you end up, if it works sometimes, it doesn't work other times. I think fans will appreciate the fact that he's gone for it, rather than just settling for a point away at teams like St Johnstone, who we have a bad record against. But in an ideal world, you should be beating teams like St Johnstone in that.
And on the McNulty thing, do you think, how are you feeling about getting him back? And do you feel that Redden getting relegated would increase our chances of keeping him, or do you think they'd maybe go, here's a good striker for League One?
They would take him back, I think. It's something that I did actually think about. I honestly think they'll take him back if they go down. But it's whether he would want to go back and play at a lower level. I know he was playing at that level with Coventry, but hopefully he just wants to stay in Scotland. But it's whether we can afford his wages.
The next one we've got is Ian Russell commenting on, McNulty's been a great find. And the pass for the second goal was brilliant from Omeonga, and the fact that we've went for the 3rd or 4th game in a row with the same 11. How long has it been since that happened? I mean, I think we've kind of talked about this before. You can have to go back to last season when we were playing the 5-3-2 between January and the summer. So that's probably the last time that happened. Next one we've got here is Tam Morrison, first win in Perth since 2013, an excellent second goal from McNulty and a game-winning save in the last minute from Rocky. Just another great performance from Hibs. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Aye, the last half an hour I would say was really good. We didn't actually mention Rocky's save at the end. That was a good save, so.
Next one we've got is James McCulloch saying ticket sales are shocking for Saturday. Don't care if it's a Ginger Judas's return. Hope Canberra rams the winning goal right up his arse. Surely Tom Wright should be cited for his unprofessional behaviour. Ticket sales for Saturday, hopefully they'll go up with everything, the performance of the team and with the fact that all the extra factors we've kind of talked about a lot. But what do you think about Tommy Wright's comments after the game? Could he get in trouble for that?
He's just a bad loser. He's petulant. At the end of the day, he was playing against 10 men for half an hour of the game and they didn't do anything about it. So it's as much their fault as it is anything to do with the referee or linesman and that. The second goal there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. So it was a brilliant piece of football that they got beat by. So get it up them.
So we head over to Twitter now. Roddy Scott has put, Sparky's done a fantastic job since signing for us. It looks like he's enjoying his football. Real team effort, fighting for each other. What a difference. They don't just give up. And in terms of Lennon, he's put who, bring on the lesser greens, which is brilliant. After extra time, Scottish Football Podcast has put McNulty was brilliant. 6 goals in his 4 games, and 150% return. If Hibs get that from him the rest of the season, the team will be phenomenal. And as usual, some players just don't give 50%. So next we've got here's Liam Riley. He said, did I jinx Slivka last week, saying how good he's been, and then he got sent off? What's your thoughts on that, Dave?
I was doing similar last night. I thought when he was in the ball, that I was turning around to you and being like, at least he's driving forward and he takes his time, the ball takes a touch and sees what can happen.
And you said at half time he'd probably been our best player.
Aye, and then he got sent off. So I jinxed it just as much. So
the next one we've got is ski #HFC on Twitter. He said, good team effort. My only criticism would be the Slevka situation. Every man and his dog could see a certain red card coming, and he should have been taken off. But yeah, still a good 3 points. And we've got from Scott McKenzie here, great result, especially with the team that's a bogey team for us, and don't think the players need any more motivation for Saturday. That's the thing, there'll be so many players ready to prove Lennon wrong. And yeah, it'll be what a game it's going to be on Saturday. Just finally on Instagram, we've got here excellent reaction with 10 Hickenbottom change information was class 2. That's from How's Your Touch, and that's you, Dave. I can let you go to work now.
Right, cheers, mate.
I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me on the phone. Sorry for we've got to do that earlier on. And everyone listen, enjoy the game on Saturday.
No worries, man. I'll catch you in a bit.
Cheers, Dave. Bye.
Cheers, bye.